Welcome to This Podcast is Making Me Thirsty, the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is Two Up and Two Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off.
Today's episode, we have The Caddy, which is a season 7 episode. And to start things off with a first up, let's go to Tony. What do you got?
Yeah, the beauty of going first is I get to steal this one. Sue Ellen Mischke, obviously an up in this episode. Brenda Strong. Just amazing performance. The whole thing at the beginning with the sweater, walking up to Elaine and coming to her office with the bra, and then the whole thing in the courtroom scene. I mean, Brenda Strong delivers. Sue Ellen Mischke, all-timer, all-time girlfriend, all-time guest of our show, all-time everything. Brenda Strong, just really needling Elaine the whole time. The O. Henry heiress is my first up.
Absolutely. Strong up there. And I highly recommend our viewers check out our interview with Brenda Strong. Great one there. So, Chris, we'll go over to you. What's your first up?
A ton of ups in the Caddy. Kevin and Robin obviously wrote this, friends of the show as well. For me, it's the whole Steinbrenner, Frank Costanza, coming to the house, Jay Buhner. You guys know the line. I'm not going to repeat it, but the whole Costanza with the Steinbrenner thing, just again, you watch that live. It was a game changer. Like, wow, they're talking about our favorite team. Why'd you trade Jay Buhner? The whole thing. So for me, that's my first up. The whole Steinbrenner, Frank Costanza.
So Tony, back to you. What's your second up?
Yeah, what the hell is Jay Buhner for? Is a mind blowing line. I agree. My second up is going to be. I love this scene. I love this line. It's quick, but it sums up everything I love about the show and about the friendship between Jerry and Kramer and just K-Man himself. And I love. There was a time in my life where I might have been like Kramer, where Jerry says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Kramer says, "George, you want to go to the Bronx with me and take some flyers off of George's car?" Kramer immediately, yes. And Jerry's, I could have said about anything right there. You would have said yes. And I just love that quick, let's get to the point. K-Man's ready for anything. Jerry, he'll go along with Jerry. Why not? What else is he doing right now, right? Just that kind of, Kramer can just fly by the seat of his pants anytime he wants on a whim. And just the fact that Jerry's planning on doing it for George shows their loyalty. You have me throwing up a ride. Now I'm taking all flyers. Where does it end? But he still does it. K-Man goes along with him. I just love that. These three guys just try to help George out of his scheme, his plot, whatever he's doing there. He's always trying to, finagle something, and Jerry's there to help him out. And the K-Man's along for the ride. That's my up.
All right. Yeah, very good. All right. Over to you, Chris. What do you got for your second up here?
That's a good one. And it's going to make me kind of switch my my second up, because I'm going to just continue that. I love, on the flip side of it, though, it's Kramer and Jerry arguing after they were doing all that, and then arguing about obviously Sue Ellen and you're just out for sex, you're just out for money. That whole little argument back at the apartment, I love it. So from the loyalty to then all of a sudden bickering like good friends should be doing. So again, great dynamic there between Jerry and Kramer in the whole episode. But that piece back at the apartment when they're screaming at each other, oh God, gets me every time.
All right, very good. All right, so we covered the ups. Let's go back to Tony. What's your first down? What do you have?
Yeah, I love hearing it for this. That's a great scene. I got a few downs written down. I'd like to use them all. Maybe I'll cram some in on my grades, because there's a couple of small misses, but it made it easy to kind of pinpoint downs for me, because they were downs. They're small though, mind you. Nothing too crazy here, but this is a weird one. It never sat well with me when I watched it. Every time I watch it, doesn't sit well with me. I feel like it's one of those inside joke type things that they like to do sometimes. Kevin and Robin are usually better than this, but I think maybe they just kind of slipped it in, or maybe this was just a Jason and Jerry spur of the moment thing. But the whole Stand the Caddy, when after Stand the Caddy leaves, when they first meet him with Kramer, and then George and Jerry do their whole thing, Stand the Caddy. Like, who are they talking to? Like, it's for the audience at that point. I don't like those break the third wall kind of jokes. I get what they're going for, but I don't know. It just I don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it, but that's my down. The George and Jerry, stand the caddy as he leaves. That's my down.
All right, yeah, I can see that. All right, Chris, over to you. What's your first down here?
I like that you mentioned that. Tough but fair. For me, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but my down is there's almost too many guest stars. You got Stan the Caddy, you got Sue Ellen, you got Jackie Childs, you got Peterman, you got Sue. I mean, it's listen. You talk about some great shows. You have one or two sprinkled in there, but this is just it's too much. And I don't know. Call me crazy, but that's my first down. Too many guest stars, and they're all great. We all love them, but do we all love them together? Find out in the grades.
All right, wow, who would have thought too many guest stars would have hurt this one? But I mean, Frank and Estelle, Frank, great. Even Wilhelm makes an appearance too. All right, Tony, what's your second down here?
Yeah, this is another odd one, and I agree with Chris there. We talked to Calvin and Robin about that. I think they liked you reusing characters. I don't know what it was, but they definitely brought back everyone on this one. But my second down, another thing that never sat well with me. It's one of those things you kind of head scratcher and you just kind of let it go because it's part of the plot and it's funny. And as Jerry always says, funny's funny, so we put it in there. But what is Sue Ellen Mischke going into Jerry's apartment to wait for Kramer? She doesn't even know the guy. New York City. Jerry's just standing there. Hey, you want to wait in here with me? All Google eye looking at it like, come on in here. Wait. Like, there's no way in hell this woman's going to just walk into Jerry's apartment and all of a sudden they hit it off. Like, unless she knew he was in the car and she went over there to kind of, finagle something. That's the only thing I can think of. But at what point did that never really came? I don't know. It just seemed very odd that she just like, Jerry's like, you want to wait in here with me? And, she walks right in like, no problem. Like, what are we doing here? That's just a little bit far-fetched. I don't know. Maybe they could have ran each other monks or something, make it a little more believable. Just always seemed odd to me that Sue Ellen he does love her free spirit, free will and attitude. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but that's my down on this one.
All right, yeah, very good point there. So I'll agree with that. Chris, over to you. What's your second down?
Yeah, and whatever happened? Did Kramer ever come back? I mean, how long did she wait? I always wondered that as well. So, yeah. And then speaking of Sue Ellen, this one always never sat well with me either. The whole car wash. So, listen, we're assuming independent publishing, Peterman is Midtown, right? They pick up the car at Yankee Stadium. Then they bring the car wash to the Upper West Side. And she walked 50 blocks. And then why would they take the car from Yankee Stadium to the Upper West Side? I don't know. Like, do they think we don't know how big the city is? I mean, is it plausible? Is it possible? Yes. But to me, it doesn't make sense. So that's my second down.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. That's also something that didn't sit well with me either. But anyway, those are the 2 ups and 2 downs. So let's wrap it up with grades. Tony, what do you have here?
Yeah, I got a feeling I'm going a little higher than my co-host, but we'll see where this goes. I don't know. I think I just watched this in a good mood when I put my grade down. There's a lot in this episode that's good. We just nailed a bunch of the downs. I also don't love that they rebuilt the cabin. That's just a throwaway line, but it's kind of silly. They're not rebuilding the cabin. Let's get real here. All of a sudden, it's that's a whole thing that I'm not going to get into. But these are all kind of continuity type downs. To Chris's point, this is a guest star heavy episode. O'Hara tends to not carry a lot of weight with guest star episodes. He wants the main 4 delivering. I for one, and we'll get there as we go through some of these grades. Frank Costanza can bring an episode up for me. We all know this. The Jay Buhner line, the Jerry Steinbrenner's here, George is dead, call me back line. Those 2 alone is enough to carry weight for me on this episode. Throw in Sue Ellen Mischke, the braless wonder. I love a good Jackie Childs. I actually thought Stan the Caddy was the dead weight on this one. I think the go for the green was a bad line. The play the jacket off, all that stuff. I think it got overplayed. I know it's the episode. We'd love to have Armin on the show. That said, I can see where too many guest stars get in the way, like O'Hara said. However, George coming up with a Laird's Bernie trade for Bonds, which I would not do. I'd keep Bernie. Anywho, all that said, it's season 7. B+ for the Caddy. B+ for the Caddy is my grade.
All right, I think that's solid enough. Chris, what do you have for your final grade?
Yeah, listen, that's a fair grade. Listen, this season 7, as I said, there's a lot of guest stars, and this is more of just a feeling. Will I ever turn that episode off? No. Stan the Caddy, I do love. Frank, we love. Sue Ellen, I mean, Jackie definitely brought it. I guess where there's a little bit of downs, not much. George didn't really do much in this episode. Outside of the trades, they kind of just threw Susan in. A lot of that just seemed a little forced. You mentioned a lot of just like great one-liners, but I didn't feel that, that season 4 flow, right? That Sharonis would bring to an episode. The last scene I didn't like. Elaine's coworkers all wearing a bra. Like, all right, enough already. George panicking, right? We're getting into a little later George there. So you see where I'm going here. Very good episode. I think it's a B. I think the Caddy is a B. A lot there, but I think it's a fair grade.
All right, there you go. Wrapping it up with a B and a B+, respectfully. So thank you guys, and we'll see everybody at the next one.